Buff Nation, what's going on? Is Nikhai Hill-Green all that? Is he as advertised? Is he going to slot in to that starting inside linebacker spot for the Buffs and be the versatile three-down linebacker that we need? Well, hopefully this film review gives you guys a little bit more of an idea of the player and athlete that he is. I think that he is a phenomenal upgrade in addition to this room. And so we're going to take a look at his game against SMU, the Mustangs, who, okay, they weren't a Power 5 program this past year, but now they are. In the ACC, they went undefeated in their conference last year in the AAC, finished 11-3 overall, including their bowl game. Really good program. They ended up beating Charlotte by 18 points, but most of the drives that we saw for Nikhai Hill-Green, he wasn't on the field for those. It's funny enough, and this was the last game, as you can see here, that he started or that he was a part-time player at. 9 tackles, 1 missed tackle. Thought he had himself a really good game, and then he took over as the full-time starter for the remainder of the year. So this game was kind of a turning point for him, and we're going to go through probably about 10 plays between the two parts or so, highlighting, showcasing what kind of athlete he is, what he brings to the table, and maybe showing a little bit what he has to work on as well. So smash that like. Let me know your thoughts on him in the comments, and let's go ahead and get started, shall we? That's why you guys are here. So, first play, we're going to take a little bit of a look at his ability to cover in zone. And the biggest thing that I want you guys to notice here, number 41 on the field, is just how well he moves back into this coverage. He's going to feint a little bit of a blitz up front, and then he's going to drop back into his zone. They're kind of playing a little bit more deep where they got 2 guys defending here, and then everybody else is back. So let's go ahead and run this play. And I guess before we do, we'll make my face a little bit smaller. You guys don't need to see me that much, right? Okay. So we'll run this all the way through, and then we'll look at it in a little bit more of a slow motion. You can see moves back to cover that curler route really well. And this was a 3rd down play. A little bit frustrating because the rest of these Charlotte defenders cannot wrap up, and they actually end up getting a 3rd down conversion here on a 3rd down and whatever it was. But let's go ahead and take a look again at this play. More so step by step. Yeah, this is 3rd and 17, and they end up converting. There was a lot of plays like this where SMU is getting these big chunks throughout the game. But anyways, the biggest thing that sticks out to me is that he can kind of feint a little bit of a blitz, shows good footwork, and overall just looks comfortable getting back into that zone where he's trying to keep everything underneath. And it covers this slot receiver and this curl route to a T. I don't think you can ask anything better. He's not even lined up directly against him. You can see he's kind of off. Moves up a little bit, kind of a weird angle. But all he has to do is take that one step back and already in position, moves his hips pretty well to be defending well for the coverage that's asked. And maybe you see a little bit of that usage from Robert Livingston, where we're able to use some athletes. I don't think Nikhai is the only athlete now in the defense where we should be able to disguise a little bit better what we're doing, maybe show one look pre-snap and then fall into a different look or coverage post-snap. You can do that when you have really good athletes that can move really well. Again, this isn't a highlight play or anything like that, but it just goes to show and point out the type of athlete that he is, and definitely somebody that looks comfortable on this play dropping down in pass coverage. And we're going to be able to see his ability to help in the run defense as well, run support as well. But let's take a look at it from this angle. I guess they can't even see it. So forget it. But let's go ahead and see him support in the run defense. I thought that he did a really effective job on this play, shedding the first blocker. I think, of course, that's probably an area of improvement for pretty much every linebacker, is that you want to be getting off your blocks a little bit more often. But this is a good showcase of his balance to be able to do that. Nikhai is lined up right here, I believe, and gets off this block well. The one area of improvement for him on this is just wrapping up the runner. He puts himself in good position, but the runner is able to run through his tackle where he's going at the legs. I think this was his only missed tackle on the stat sheet from the game, if I remember correctly. But you see how he bumps into that lineman. I think that's the center. And he's able to stay on his feet, regain his balance, and plug himself in this hole effectively, but just gets there maybe a tad late. And the runner shows really nice burst right there through the hole. Kind of throws off the timing there. He ends up fumbling. I can't remember if I think he might have been down, yeah. But here you're going to be able to see a really good angle of it. And this center was a highly rated center in the transfer portal. I'm trying to remember which school he ended up going to. I think it was another one in Texas. It might have been UT. I can't remember, but I wanted us to target him in the portal. But anyways, look how he is able to shed this block, lowers his shoulder, regains his balance just after like a step and a half, and then maybe just a tad late, see where he's able to make contact with him. But that's something where, you'd like to see him be able to finish that tackle. But overall, again, 9 out of 10 for his tackle attempts on the game. He had a really nice game, and this is the game that really helped cement him as the starter inside moving forward. So be sure to look at that, plays like this in context. But the biggest thing that I wanted to highlight there is just his balance to stay in pursuit even when being hit by an offensive lineman, to still stay in that in the play, stay balanced, and be there at the point of attack to help in run support, even though it didn't work out how we would have all hoped. But let's go see a nice run stop now. 14:37. Right, you're going to see Nikhai lined up here in the red zone, of course. Again, gets off that blocker really well and is the guy to bring him down. And what I like to see again is he had that play that we just showed, like a drive earlier, missed tackle, doesn't have a missed tackle the rest of the game, bounces back and is better moving forward. Those are the types of things that I try and notice to see how a player reacts or how they play as the game goes on. I felt like his play got stronger as the game went on. See here, left guard takes him on, kind of holding him on the jersey a little bit, but that's rarely ever going to get called, and shows strength to get off the block, positions himself to make contact, brings him down. Love that. And I wanted to highlight this front as well, because I think the front that Charlotte was running in a lot of these games, we're going to see CU run a lot of these kind of wider fronts where maybe your 4 down lineman, if you're talking about the 4-2-5, right? You have, whoops, that was way too big. You got a guy right here. You got a guy down with their hand in the ground right there, over here. So really, you're going to need your linebackers to make sure that they have, these areas covered, or maybe depending on what that safety's doing in the box. But I would see Shiloh as that guy that kind of plays up a little bit. But you need inside linebackers that are going to be about the run support. That's why I really do like the idea of having both Nikhai Hill-Green and Levante Bentley in there on running situations, because even if they pass, we have a 230-pound linebacker right here in Nikhai Hill-Green that can do a little bit of both. Shows some versatility. So let's go ahead and run this play again. Really solid run stop. I really like this play. All right, so let's go with 2 more plays, and then I'll leave the rest for my part 2. So y'all be sure to check that out. I'll release it tomorrow. But this is going to be a sack, I believe. Sack or pressure? Trying to remember. 2nd and 2. Let's run it. Guess you'd count this not as a sack, but just a tackle for loss. He does a great job of reading this zone read. Let's run it through again. 2nd and goal on the 2. Kai lined up. One of the 2 snaps he had outside, and showing the athleticism to defend this read option really well. Yeah, I guess they would count this as a tackle for loss and not a sack, because this was a read option, not an RPO. But you'll see Nikhai over here, 41, showing discipline, showing pursuit, instinct, aggression, all the buzzwords. Understands his assignment. You guys know I'm big on assignments, right? Does that really well. So lastly, let's go to some more in pass coverage. One thing that that we're hoping the Buffs are going to be better at, and I think we will with the new personnel as well as coaching brought in, is the open field tackling. Let's take a look at him in some pass coverage and assisting in getting the ball carrier down. All right, so we're going to see Nikhai located over here. And this is another 3rd down situation. As you can see, it is 3rd down and very long. So you're going to see the pass coverage. You're going to have a couple blankets of defenders trying to keep everything in front of them. So don't look at this as like, oh, he allowed this pass to be complete. No, like this play is designed to keep everything in front of them, or this coverage rather. So it's important to just tackle the guy. So let's go ahead and run it. See, he drops down in that zone in the middle of the field. Ball carrier catches it. He shows great instinct to bring him down, making this a 4th and 7 about. Let's go ahead and look at that again. One of the things, as I've said, that really pops out to me is just how comfortable, he looks moving in pass coverage and moving in open field pursuit. Reads this route very quickly. He's already in pursuit right after he sees the break on this route. Catches it, and then how many steps does the receiver take? 1, 2, 3. This slot receiver. So this isn't a tight end. This isn't a running back or fullback. This is a slot receiver, a guy that has agility, quickness, all of that. And the fact that we can play coverages to where we can have a linebacker back there dependable that can help and assist in some of these situations in open field tackling pursuit. I think that's great. He was right. I think that he proved himself to be in this game truly a three down type of linebacker that I think would be a big time help with the Buffs. So y'all let me know what you thought about these plays. And Nikhai Hill-Green, I think that he is as advertised. If you're hoping for somebody to be that alpha in our room, to our linebacker room, to really establish themselves as a high end player for this defense, I'm expecting better play from both Levante Bentley and great play from Nikhai Hill-Green as well. It would not surprise me to see either of them on some sort of level of all Big 12 if we're having the year that we're expecting to have with the Buffs taking a nice jump in their production this year. So y'all let me know your thoughts. Smash that like and subscribe. I'll come back with part 2 tomorrow. As always, y'all, let's go Buffs.